Alright, what's up? What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode. Like always, it seems like I begin all my videos the same way, apologizing for how long it's taken me to get to another video. And, but, you know, here we are. So, the wait is over. And I know you've been anxiously sitting on your hands and almost couldn't help yourself. But, I am here to put you at ease. Obviously, you know, I was being a little sarcastic there. What we are going to be doing in this episode is finishing up the sanding and the remaining bodywork on these bumpers and the side skirts, and and then just getting them ready to be base coat, clear coat. So basically that's it. I mean, we've been through this. If you've seen my previous episodes with the car, I did the whole, you know, painted the whole car. So the procedures in this is nothing new really, except for the only difference is I'm working with fiberglass products instead of metal. After I lay the primer down, I'm going to block sand it, everything. I'll start out with 400. I'll try. I mean, that's the only. I'm going to sand it up to 400, and hopefully it'll sand nicely with that. If not, I'll drop down to, like, I think I have some 180, and then go back up to 400, like that. You know, the 180 will just kind of cut through it, that top layer real quick, and then the 400 will refine the 180 scratches, and then it'll be ready for base coat and clear coat. So basically that is what we're going to be doing here. And also I do a little reveal on a little gift that I got myself midway through this video, probably. Excuse me. Yeah, I've been, and I will throw an excuse out. I have been sick for about a week, and it's been tough trying to stay away from the baby and all. Because we don't want to get the baby sick. And I've been kind of, so it's been hard to get out here in this garage to really work on this thing. So, anyways, like always, you know, glad you guys stuck around. I'm glad you clicked to watch this video, and I hope you enjoy. And if you do, throw me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, okay? That's, you know, the drill, the normal drill. So, without any further delay, here we go. Here's why I'm going over the bumper with some 120 grit all over block sanding, because not only does it level it out a little bit, it also that's what you need to do in order to get that primer to stick to your bumper. But also this body was you know, when you're dealing with fiberglass and gel coat, you're gonna most of the time you're gonna run into these issues where you're gonna find these little air bubbles. And here's where I found one right here, sanding, and you can feel you can feel it kind of give just a little bit. And you go in close. I'm just gonna take this out, and this really the only way to do this is to, just get like a sharp edge there and just needle, and see, look at that, that's a pretty big bubble. I mean, that's you know, obviously this is the first time I'm seeing this, so we're just gonna get it as good as we can. And unfortunately, that is that's a really big bubble. So oh man, come on. What happens is when they put the mold in, when they put this gel coat in the mold, the gel coat laid down good in the mold, but on the back side where they applied the fiberglass, when they applied the fiberglass, there was an air bubble. See how that's it looks like an air? It's a perfect air bubble. It's a big one. Most of the time they're pretty small, but this is the pretty big one here. And so there was that little space between that fiberglass and the gel coat right back here in the mold. So now what I need to do is, still going here, don't be afraid to ruin your precious little body kit, because if I didn't find this, let's say I don't find this and I paint it and everything, later on down the line, that's going to give me issues, and I'm going to you're going to be able to see it through my paint when the hot air, when you're out and about, and the hot air expands and contracts, and eventually it's just going to you're going to be able to it's going to show through the through the paint. So you want to go ahead and find this stuff now, and get it done now. So basically all we need to do is just scuff that up with some 80 grit, and then go back over that with some body filler. Okay, and here's another one right here. This looks like a typical bubble, not that big. That's gargantuan right there. I mean, that's the biggest one I've seen anyways, even working on that car right there. But that's alright, no big deal. I mean, it does suck, but can't get mad at it, because here's another one right here. That's just a small one. And even on expensive body kits, they're going to have stuff like that, because it's just the nature of the beast. I believe that was it. Those three right there. I mean, not too bad, only 3, but that one was huge. Get all up in there so your filler will stick in there.
Tell me why you treat me feels like a toy.
So guys, the next day, in my crowded garage, I've got my body pieces. I got the two side skirts here, rear bumper. I think everything turned out pretty good. Let's go check out the front bumper. Right here. Everything looks pretty good. There are a few little things, like here's a spot right here, a little pinhole that I missed. You see? So what I'm going to have to do with that is I'll sand it down and then go back with the putty, the glazing spot putty, and go over that. Here's another spot. They're hard to see, you know, but since I am going gloss black, you're going to be able to see every imperfection in it. So I'm going to try to do as best as I can to get all of the imperfections out. Side skirts turned out really good. Very happy with those. Not much, if any. I don't think there was any imperfections in those. The rear bumper, there was, you know. Anyway, just a couple of things here and there, like right here. That's an area right there, but that's going to be tucked up underneath, you know, the body of the car, right over here. It'll be tucked up underneath here, so you're not going to see that anyways, but I might just go ahead and fill it up just for the hell of it, just so I can say that I did it. And yeah, that's it. I'm going to now I'm just gonna knock this down with I'm gonna see how the 220 works on it, and if it's too much, if it's too hard to sand, I'll probably go down to 180 and I'll just sand it, block sand of course, and then final sanding will be 400 grit. So after the 400 grit, then I'll be ready for you know, paint and clear coat, base coat and clear coat. Alright, so I just hit this real quick, as you saw, with the 400 grit, and you see how it has that texture now, like it's like a basketball texture. Basically what we want to do is sand all that down to where there's no more of that, no more of the dark spots, because when you sand it, it's going to get lighter, so you want it to be all one color, because the dark spots are actually is what hasn't been hit yet. Those are the low spots. So whenever you get it to all, let me see if I can, without holding this, let's see, when you can get it all same color, that means it's all the same level if you're using your block properly. So when it's all the same level, then you're done. And this is 400 grit. It's actually sanding pretty nicely. So I'm going to just try that and see how it goes, see how much progress we can make. And now you see how that middle section is all one color now. So now we just got to do all the pieces like that. Okay, as I was sanding the primer, I revealed some holes that I didn't previously see. The primer really makes them stand out, as you can tell. Let me see like those two holes right there, one up there on the top. It's a little blemish right there. And here's a big air bubble that I missed in my preliminary sanding. That was in the gel coat. So basically what I'm gonna do is you go through, you get all your imperfections, and I'm going to use the glazing spot putty. It's the two-part putty, because the single part is pretty much just crap, really. You always want to use the two-part glazed putty. We're gonna glaze these over, right, and then we're sanding back down with 400, and then then what I'm gonna do is, instead of primering all this again and then having to go back and sand it down again, I'm going to use sealer, which is kind of like a primer, but it's not as, I don't know, it's like a primer, but it's without the build properties of it. So basically it'll make it all one color. This is what I'm going to be using. 2K urethane sealer, gray. So what it does is it makes your substrate all one color. So when you put your base coat and when you put your base coat over that, you're not going to have like little spots that you might like if you were just a Bondo, you know, and then you have a spot of Bondo on your body, and then you go over with that and you just try to base coat over that. It's going to bleed through, and you're going to be able to see where that Bondo spot was, believe it or not, but you will be able to see it, especially in the sun. So what the sealer does is it makes everything all one color, kind of like a chalkboard. You're going to erase everything, and you'll have a blank canvas to do your base and clear coat over. So I'm going to go ahead and put the putty on these spots and sand them down with 400. Alright, here's what I'm going to be using. There's a bunch of different kinds of these. It's basically like body filler, but it's a lot lighter. It'll fill in like even smallest pinholes. And yeah, basically that's it. And doesn't take a lot to do a whole bunch. Like I'll just use that much probably for all those spots that I showed you. Don't even need that much probably. That there. Stuff goes off pretty quick too. Especially in the summertime. Alright, I got the putty on. And basically I'm just going to let this cure for a little while. And while I'm waiting, there's that big air bubble. I probably should have just used regular body filler on that. But oh well, it'll be alright. While I'm waiting for this, I'm going to go ahead and start on the start block sanding the rear bumper. Alright guys, real quick here, I went to I started wet sanding here because what I did was I went to 180 grit to cut through this pretty quickly because it was taking forever with the 400 because I put an extra coat on here of primer, so and you can see I've gone through a lot of this, I've sanded through a lot of the spots, so but what I'm going to do is go back over it, and and I'm going to put some sealer on there before I put the base coat on, like I showed you earlier. But what I wanted to do is, the reason I started wet sanding is because it was getting difficult for me to be able to see the 180 scratches, and I would go with the 400, and that's a pretty big jump from 180 grit to 400. So I want to make sure that I'm getting all these scratches out. And you can see right here. Hang on a minute. Okay, so for instance, you see those scratches right there? Let me get out of the light. All right, you see those scratches? Those are the 180 scratches right there. And it's really hard to see that. That's with such a light background with the gray out here. So what I did was I'm wet sanding it now, and this I've already done this side, and you can see that you can see that it's just 400 grit scratches on this side. So it's much easier to be able to tell. Plus I sprayed some guide coat on here, which was just some leftover primer that I had, single stage primer. But let me see if I can do this, hold the camera and do this at the same time. Just take out some water, and then I'm gonna sand it down. Good thing about wet sanding is, like, it clears all the residue out of the way instead of having like dust everywhere. Okay, so let's just see what I've got here. Spray it back down here. Now you can see those 180 scratches are gone. See here, they're still down here with the guide coat down here, but up here it's good to go now. And for wet sanding, I just get a little bottle like that, put a drop of soap in it, dish soap, and that's it. Good thing about it is also your paper is much cleaner as well. So, you know, but it does mess up your driveway a little bit, but when it rains a few times, it'll be gone. All right, now that the wife and baby are asleep, I can bring out my little present to myself. Gotta try to keep the noise down though. Alrighty. More stuff that I don't need for the car, but that's something that I've kind of wanted for a while, but just never had the opportunity to buy it. So I finally was able to. Found the right opportunity and went for it. So I don't know, many of you guys, I'm sure you're aware of another channel called Corner Balanced. Guy's name is Eric, and he was getting rid of this. We'll see, because he wanted something a little bit different for his car. So he's got a if you don't know about his channel, it's called Corner Balanced. And I'll leave a link to the description.
but I'm sure you know about it because he's got a lot more subscribers than I do. But you know, just in case, I'll leave the description in. I'll leave the link in the description. I mean, but yeah. Anyways, he was getting rid of this, so I offered to buy it from him, and he sold it to me for, I think, you know, a decent price, considering how much these parts go for. But let's see. This is the first time I've opened this, so I don't know. Hopefully, it's in good condition. Here it is. It's a JDM style steering wheel. Anyway, he's working on he's just finishing up his 86. He's done a really good job on it. It's a beams. He did a beams. Well, I think it already had the beams in it, but he just basically redid it, a lot of the stuff in there, and just made it really nice, real clean. Did a really good job on it. Anyways, here's that piece. That's in pretty good condition as well. So anyways, there it is. And we'll be installing that pretty soon. So look forward to that. So yeah, looks good. A little tangent on the video there, but just wanted to show you that. And let's get back to the work outside.
All right, I was gonna do this on a later video, but this weather has just been so bad lately, and I haven't been able to back the cars out of the garage and paint my bumpers. So, I mean, on my days off, every time I'm off work, the weather turns bad. But then as soon as I'm at work, like the sun's shining and not a cloud in the sky. So, I'm gonna go ahead and just go ahead and install this steering wheel. That way I can at least do something to the car, because I'm kind of stuck waiting here. Also, I've been trying to wire my horn up. Here it is right here. Can anyone confirm to me, and I'm pretty sure that it is correct, I mean, I don't know, but the plug in there, is that the, you know, if that's the right plug? Looks like there's a white wire with some red tabs on it, and then there's a green wire with red stripe and red little tabs on it. So, but the funny thing is that the only thing is the plug-in was way over on this side on the harness, but then the horn's over here. So I wasn't really sure what was going on there. And I've tried to test it. I tested this plug, you know, when I pushed the horn, and I could get the light, my little test light, to come on. But then when I hook it up to the horn, it doesn't work. So, but then if I connect the horn directly to the battery, positive and negative to the battery, then the horn works. So I'm kind of like frustrated, and I've been trying to figure that out, and it's not working very well. So if someone can just confirm to me that this is the correct plug-in, I'd appreciate it. Leave me a comment down below. I guess that's about it. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this steering wheel installed. Also, for anyone who is wondering, here's the USDM steering wheel, and there's the JDM style steering wheel. This one is, the USDM is just a little bit bigger. I would say not much, but if you center them perfectly, you can see it's a few millimeters bigger around the USDM one. So I kind of like a little bit smaller steering wheel. Well, I was messing around with this little wire here. And apparently I unplugged it from somewhere way deep inside here, so I'm going to have to take this off with these 3 screws and see if I can get to where I can plug that in again. It should plug in to this little, the other side of this. See how this works is like on the column here you have this little deal right here. This is spring loaded and that's metal. What that does is it's when you turn the wheel, it just stays on this metal piece as well. So it's contacting it the whole time. And then when you this wire is connected to that metal piece that's connected to this. This wire is connected to this piece right here. You can see. So what that does is when you push this and you push this spring-loaded deal like this, it contacts the wheel. And what that's doing is it's completing the circuit. So when you push this down, it's completing the circuit. You know, it's actually like a ground with these 2 pieces touching. So that's how your horn sounds. So I need to get this connected to the round metal piece back behind there. Here's what it looks like without that piece on it. Here's see that tab right there? That's where that female connector connects to that male connector. So let's see if I can do this somehow. Alright, so my hand is too big to where I can get this. Well, it's like I could almost get it in there, but then my hand just gets in the way. I might have got it now. Oh, there it goes. Okay. I was gonna take this off with the 3 screws and do it like that, but let's not mess that up again. So I said this is a JDM wheel. I'm not sure. I mean, I know this is, I think Canada has these wheels as well, but I'm not sure exactly the difference, if there's a difference between JDM and Canada. But I know some of them are wrapped in leather, and they're a little bit more expensive. But this one is not leather wrapped, as you can tell. So, but anyways, I just want to clarify that, just in case some purists are out there saying if there is a difference between JDM and Canada. I don't know. So let's see. It's centered on there. Hopefully the wheels are straight. Play in there. Got a a little bit of play in there. I think it's supposed to be like that. Oh, there we go. Nope. Huh. As you saw, I had some play in the steering wheel there, and I was about to be pretty upset with somebody, but I tightened up the bolt, and it's fine now. There's no play in it, so whew, close call, because that pretty much would have meant the steering wheel was worthless. But let me, and it wasn't the shaft either, because my other wheel didn't have any play like that. Let me tighten it up a little bit more. There we go. And the coup de grace, actually, it's just sitting in there now. I gotta actually, there's these, you can see these pins right here. It's supposed to look like that, but these two are broken. 1 and 2, those are broken. It looks like somebody tried to glue them back on there. And these are just spacers. And those pins go into these holes, and I guess it looks like it's supposed to clip in there, but it's not really clipping in there. This bottom one, even though I have it, it's there. It does hold it a little bit, but not very well. So probably what I'll have to do is whenever I'm ready to keep it installed, I'll just put some maybe some silicone or something, put it in there like that, you know. But yeah, there's what it looks like. Let me get a little further back view. There it is, not too bad. Kind of like it. Pretty happy with the interior, pretty much done with it, I guess. Except for I do have one more thing for the interior that I'm going to install at a later date. So anyways, guys, I got some big things coming up. Not just with the Corolla, but with other deals and other things that have been taking up my time. But as soon as I get done with those, I'll be able to really get a move on this car and finish it up. Pretty much done with it right now. Just got to paint the bumpers again, you know, like I said. Got to get a new windshield and put all the trim back on. The side quarter glass trim, the windshield trim. And then after that's done, I'll be pretty much finished, and I'll be able to drive this thing around happily. And then I have a few other things I wanted to do. I got a rear spoiler that I'm still on the fence about. I don't know if I'm going to install it or not. It's the OEM GTS, the OEM, you know, little duckbill wing. Just don't know if I want to drill holes into my precious hatch, you know. So, yep, that's it. I promise that the next episode we will get these bumpers painted and installed and it's going to be ready to look at. So I appreciate you guys watching, and you know the drill. We'll see you next time. Thank you.